He almost tried to fuck with Saint last night. That's why I got a satanic ring. You never see me wearing a Judah lion and all that bullshit. It's Satan that picks that. I mean, it's God, the demiurge, that picks them up and rescues them from out of hell realms. And from what I understand, he's a giant praying mantis. So with that being said, I got serious about the situation. And I started looking for their asses in the spirit plane. I was tearing up them fucking people out there, Malibu shares, all that shit for doing that to me in that timeline. And it's real. And even Atlas, I don't know where 14, 15, whatever you want to call them, aliens were showing me. There was a lot of people that were like, we don't want you back, we want you to stay there, woo, 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 the most evil shit. And I started getting tears in my eyes because it was like family to me. And to see something like that, I remember right before I got carted off to jail, I felt, I don't want to say a distance or a disconnect, but a coldness coming from, the sheriffs in when they took me in. Yes? Yes?
You're in there?
Yes.
Okay. This food down here, is that for an animal that you have?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's for the two cats.
You have two cats?
They don't live with me. No, they stay in the forest area.
Oh, okay.
And I just feed them.
You help. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Quick
Barrels.
question. Do you have an ankle monitor? You do? Mm-hmm. All right. I'm gonna need
Look,
you
man,
to
here's the thing. People be sexually assaulting me and taking advantage, and I remember.
Okay. All right. Real quick, I'm going to need you to step out, okay? Just be careful, because I don't want you to get hurt on the stuff that you have.
All right. I mean, this is fucking frustrating, man. I mean, motherfuckers that be doing that shit to me, they be getting away with shit. And
just be careful with that stuff there, all right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Step down, watch out for the water and all that stuff.
Yeah, could I, just in case I got to go to jail, could I get, my stuff?
We'll grab it. Just let us know what you need, all right, in case. And,
yeah, just...
we can grab it. You know what you need, probably just cell phone and charger?
Yeah.
All right. You have a crystal?
Nah.
No crystal?
No, I think it's, you know what?
All right, come on out, Raven. Grab a charger for you. So that way you have it.
So I'm going to jail, right?
We'll see. All right.
Man, people be doing fucked up shit. I don't go after people for nothing, man. I'm not that type of person.
All right.
People be coming around.
Charger?
Mm-hmm.
You just need a cable for your iPhone?
Yeah, I got just need the cable, this right here, and also my ID just in case.
All right. Where's your ID at? I can grab it for you. I'm just going to grab that. Is it somewhere easily accessible?
Yeah, it's in the glove compartment.
It's in the glove compartment? It's California ID?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You mind if I grab that?
Yeah, could I also change clothes just in case?
You want to change? No, you can't change clothes right now, all right? We need you to come out. Man. All right, step on down. Watch out for the catfish.
I'm not drunk. Here, let me...
All right, I need you. Can you hand me?
And there's a resolution here. We want you gone. And you may not ever physically come back. And that When the Atlas aliens were showing me that, and they were accurate, that really fucking hurt. That hurt to see that. And there was, a couple of deputies, and one major one, he was Hispanic, closeness to Quetzalcoatl, related to him. I heard I was in the spirit plane as well, who tried to help, and he ended up homeless, and it hurts to hear and see that good people lost their shit in the realm of injustice over something that should have never fucking been, because you got a greedy guy. And the greedy, I'm going to call it the Mountbatten Windsors and the Rothschilds, that want to covet Hecate's powers. And I'm supposed to be the successor to Hecate. That's why I don't like him instinctively. I remember them being in my timelines when this first started with Camilla Parker Bowles. And they were, coming and trying to, I don't want to say schmooze, but trying to trying to help out. And I immediately cut them off. Hire the higher selves, because I saw what they were all about. And I didn't like that shit. I was told in the timeline where I allowed them to, ingrain and endear themselves to me, imprint really. That's how they operate, because a lot of them, they make entity attachments of the people they sacrifice, turn them into werewolves and all of that. Many of them are not human. I heard Harry will in a quick second turn into a reptilian and all of that. From what I understand, them motherfuckers, they waited, I think, about a year to put it was a year to put me back. Then they just cruelly threw me out, and I believe it was to take my powers, if I'm not mistaken. Or they were blocking it. They were promising me, we'll put you back. You can use 808 hertz and keep proselytizing. As a matter of fact, I'm going to write it down. Or the Church of Scientology, because it's a well-known fact amongst a lot of celebrities, Tom Cruise and all of them. That's why they join it, for spiritual security, because they work under Zenu, who was an Egyptian entity during the time of the Commissions that would administer knowledge to people. Soul swapping happens, and according to the Commissions, they've been taking my Commission answer, they're not supposed to have that happen. The soul swapping ain't supposed to happen. So the Church of Scientology uses, Baron Samedi was telling me this at the start of this when I was living at the First to Serve shelter in Figueroa, to use, it's 11,000 hertz, that's the building blocks of life, carbon. You can use that 110 hertz in conjunction with 000 hertz. You just download 110 hertz and then 00, 00 hertz, online or something. Get some with zeros in it, like 00.0, just cut out the zeros and call it a day. 000 hertz to put people back together. So they combine 110 hertz and with 000 hertz. I'm going to start proselytizing on my YouTube channel.
making love, but we heartless. She want car shots, give her face shots. I got a Maybach, so hope you say yeah. Tryna get saved, yeah. Girl, I'm out of hate, yeah. Just wanna get paid, get my whole pay.
The Atlas aliens the other night tried to put me back because they really felt sorry about my predicament. And they got fucking damn near fucking killed. They were going into the timelines physically. They were looking at, one of my old timelines and all that. And they were like, man, that's fucked up. With that being said, it's one of the ones that look like the astroplane I used to show on my channel. And I'm going to do another video tonight talking about how to get yourself back in your body. I'm going to do it tonight. I've been lax on doing videos because it's trying to get out this situation. It becomes more complicated. From what I understand, the Illuminati put a green light on me some months back. I know it's not the work of anybody else but them, because they'll give you a warning. They try fucking with some, people in y'all group as well. They'll give you a warning, usually months in advance, and then, like in a lot of so-called conspiracy videos, they disseminate that they're going to do something to you, and then tell you months in advance, give you a warning, and then follow through. They talked about, with 9/11, loose change and all of that. William Cooper, was one of the, along with Simon Parks, there was a couple of them. I heard they got David Icke outside his body. I heard they shut down a lot of, like, intellectual... reminds me of the, when they started, I forgot the name of the law. My consciousness is so fucking, fractured and splayed and all of that. It's not even funny. That they launched, when the Amazing Atheist, my friend Happy Cabby was out, I heard he reincarnated back in 2007. When they wanted to control online. And then in 2016, I'm going to say something right now. I remember Richie from Boston. For years, he was an old man who, he looked like a fucking MAGA hat wearer like me, like old redneck motherfucker, but very, very fucking, an erudite. Very fucking cognizant on, like, very obscure occult things. A lot of shit that fucking African, what they call them, Inyagas wouldn't be cognizant of, Babalos, Bobby Hemmett would come near. But this man was fucking deep. And he was a good looking white man. He kind of looked like Richard Godfrey. He looked a little bit like him, very handsome. A lot of them people, I used to live in Massachusetts back in the day, and a lot of them people are very good looking people. With that being said, he looked a lot like, them people. He looked a lot like them people. I mean, with that being said, he disseminated like obscure fucking occult knowledge. Very obscure. They killed him. They had 2 women go to his home, rob him, I guess, and fucking take him out. And he's dead. They replaced him with that young Puerto Rican back in 2016. I never forgot it. And that's when they started putting the restraints on intellectual, people and all of that in dissemination, like occult knowledge. There was a lot of, there was Well.2 I used to look up. Now there's a foolish ass Well.io. I'm paying attention to that. But there was Well.2 that was actually TO. That was written by a guy. He was from Wales, and he wrote a lot of, great knowledge about the Illuminati. There was Alex Collier back in the day, one of my, favorites. There was another one who was Filipino, and he had a white man's name, last name. It was something Barrett. And he talked a lot about aliens, UFOs. If you're ever abducted by aliens, 1.7 million hertz will free you. But I'm trying to think of that man's name. It's on the tip of my tongue. But he was Illuminati, by the way. They've been trying to give me false body parts and shit. That's how they... like I heard in the spirit plane, and I tried to free him last night. Kanye West looks, they got him all fucked up. 694, 695 hertz C. That's why he looks like this here. That, and I saw a video where, you know, it looked like he was in the homeless place, and that's where he is, because they, you know, taking all his money and funneling it to the person that, you know, the first it was a reptilian entity attachment, I learned, that didn't want to be in his body and tried to even help him himself get back in. I heard they killed Adele and all of them in the spirit plane. Kodak Black, his name is Bill Capri. Let me see what his name is.
And good evening. Off the top at 11 and only on Local 10 News, our news crew coming under attack by Kodak Black just moments after he walked out of jail.
The rapper hurled rocks and threats. Could this bad behavior land him back behind bars? Local 10's Rosh Lowe is live in Fort Lauderdale with the exclusive. Rosh.
Nicole, and these rocks hit my photographer right in the ribs. This was serious. You know, it is very usual in our profession to interview people coming out of jail, especially noteworthy people. What is unusual is what happened today. Rocks being thrown and threats being hurled. Don't throw anything at our camera. Kodak Black. Don't throw anything at our camera.
Rush, call the cops, call the
Just
cops.
out of
Call the
jail.
cops.
That's when you wake the Kodak bell up. I've been hibernating, chilling, bro.
He has been chilling in jail since December, but he accepted a plea deal, pleading guilty to a technical violation of his probation. The judge sentenced him to time served. And Kodak's been in custody since Plantation police reportedly found him passed out in a Bentley with drugs on him. You want to punch me?
I ain't standing you, woman. I ain't standing you, woman.
Okay, I'm not going to back down from you, Kodak. I'm not going to back down from you.
My son about to be born in less than 48 hours. I ain't worried about y'all, homie.
After throwing rocks at our photographer. And look at that again. I wanted to get your side and say hello to you, and you threatened to punch me.
I did.
Threatening to punch me. Don't threaten to punch me again. You understand what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
You understand what I'm saying? You want me to call the cops on you right now, Kodak?
You know what I mean?
You want to threaten to punch me again on camera?
This how I'm living, how I'm living, how I'm living. It ain't nothing like you seen on BET.
Kodak sings his way out of jail.
All right.
Just like that, he's gone. But the damage, done. As you saw there, a truly bizarre situation. Once again, my photographer being hit in the ribs by those rocks, and he's simply doing his job to bring all of you at home these images, trying to get Kodak Black to explain he's a public figure, what it was like being in jail the last couple of months. And one final note tonight, if you are curious, you heard my photographer Brian Murphy say, call the police, call the cops. Fort Lauderdale police were called, a police report was filed, and we'll keep you updated. We're live tonight in Fort Lauderdale. I'm Rosh Lowe, Local 10 News.
And by the way, we're not black. How about that? We're not black, nigga. We're Indian.
Do you take back any of the anti-Semitic stuff you might have said?
Black people can't be anti-Semitic. We are Jew. You understand what I'm saying? We are Jew. So cool out. Until you do your facts, until you really do the facts with the fake indoctrination that y'all pull into the schools and all that, you know what I'm saying? We're not following y'all rules.
I mean, just like calling death con on Jews and that sort, like, do you take back any of that sort of more extreme stuff?
You know what? For all the kids that love me, all the Jewish kids that love me, I'm sorry if y'all had to hear a grown-up conversation with us screaming at each other. But we got to a point where something needed to happen. Something needed to be said. Somebody needed to say something. Now, if you're in an argument with somebody, you're not going to say everything the right way. But it got to a point where y'all ain't going to just keep running, start calling me bizarre and impressed for all these years. I got to the point, how many more times y'all going to call me crazy? How many more times y'all going to give me fake medication that makes me fat off of a misdiagnosis when I really have slight signs of autism from the car accident? But then y'all gave me, you say, whatever, just give them that bipolar medication. Y'all try to kill the superheroes. But we here, we alive.
And Capri. And also, you know, Gucci Man. And there was a couple of others. I heard they're trying to do with me, you know, get me to a point where all I see is white. And it got me like that where I was living in a 10 in one timeline. It was Delonte something. That's the name of Gucci Man, Davis, something like that. I got it written on the whatchamacallit. But I heard they killed off Adele. You know, I was using 3517 hertz along with 117 hertz combined with 800 hertz. I can use that 117 hertz combined with 800 hertz to get my shit back because they got me all fucked up in the spirit plane. Same thing with my, who's part of my bloodline, Baron Samedi, as well as Elegua. You know, even Santa Muerte was trying to put him back and protect him as much as she could. And, you know, when she got off the ship after, you know, I was playing 156 hertz to get her off, her and my Archangel Michael were just happy. And she was like, we got to get the fuck up out of here because they taking our consciousness, separating it, and you don't know what the fuck you dealing with in the spirit plane. But, yeah, it got man fucking quiet. But with that being said, that shit's real. And I didn't play any frequencies. I just used my powers, Palamayambe, to try to get them out. There was something else I wanted to say, but I'm being made to forget. Very, very pivotal information. But, they fucking with us. I heard they took over that 3i Atlas spaceship, the Illuminati. I even had one of my road spirits play 1248 hertz. Tell me to play 1248 hertz to fight them off. And they do something weird with that as soon as I mention Gucci Man. But they got them to where they see nothing but white. And their consciousness is not sentient. You know, I heard that for Prince William's kids, the reason why they look odd, their eyes, is because they did that to some African guys. That's why they big on visiting Africa. Queen Elizabeth herself even tried to reincarnate into an African family and started the process of throwing them people out of my bodies, just like Prince Andrew, who I felt his soul consciousness and everything. It had to be him. I tried to kill his ass early this morning, about 5 or something. Not 5, but before that. Way before. That's what they do when they reincarnate into people's families. They start replacing them with their royal family members, past and present. As a matter of fact, there's a famous recording online where they have a woman saying that the queen is she's here and she's trapped, meaning she just got into a body and she's fully cognizant of where she is, and she was in an African child's body.
The death is irreversible, and the fact that she's trapped.
As you can see, as you can see here in London, it is a lovely day, and as the hearse heads out into West London, Emily Morgan.
And I remember that coming from my old timeline, so I know it's real. And it was not that long after she died. She died, I think, in my old timeline in 2021. But with that being said, I took them people out, and I was one of them. I felt it. I saw it. I saw the fucking niggas. I can't stand them. Lil Wayne, DJ Khaled, all them motherfuckers protecting her because they're part of it. Drake and all of that, who takes pride. I'm going to say something right now. You know, I was reading about Prince online. You know, he was a Jehovah's Witness. I was kind of laughing at how his mansion looked. It looks like a fucking corporate park. I feel like somebody is there, but there's nobody there. Y'all saw that too. It feels like a corporate park. Or, you know, like a small community college. The other singer, Pharrell Williams, got something similar. But with that being said, he didn't like him. And the way he dealt with them people is they would just take royalties. He would not sign a contract with them, and there was a reason for that. I saw it in the spirit plane with the girl who soul swapped me. And I got an Ashley Terrell, Renee Wellinger. Keep stealing my soul consciousness. 808 hertz, 694 hertz, 695 hertz a scene. The shit bag 3002 hertz. It was another favorite, whatchamacallit of mine's 3517 hertz combined with 115 hertz. The Illuminati, they took out a part of my consciousness and was disseminating it and, turning it around. I had to use my powers as EK and all of that shit to fix that. Not EK, but, use my powers to try to fix that. They were taking over my entity attachments and I was removing them from it and, setting up shit in the spirit plane so that whatever, they try to do, it goes back against them. There was something clever, I even say, that they couldn't get permission from the demiurge. And I heard he was the one that set it up with that girl. She even stole my fucking, vivid imagination at birth to set it up for me to get soul swapped because they want to control people very tightly and they want to control consciousness, and he got something to do with that. With that being said, I started pulling them people out and I started rescuing people, and I saw my parents in that timeline was one of them, Napoleon and Linda Williams Jr. They putting runes on my mother. One of my little spirits use 3.2 hertz million hertz or 3.5 million hertz. Again, just download 3.2 hertz online or 3.5 hertz and get some with zeros like 0.0 something. Just get the zero and you're good. I think my dad was born on September, my mother January 1966 or 65. My dad 1946, Mississippi. He was born in Laurel, Mississippi, I believe. My mother, New Orleans, Louisiana, Desire Projects. They were using it to try to get my people out and pull my people. I was just, speaking into, putting shit out there so that my people could be free, pulling them into hell realms and all of that. I saw that my parents were one of the people they had trapped, and they were so far gone, even the 3 Atlas aliens, they kicked out my mom. They were like, you can't do shit. Even hell couldn't accept them because they were so fucked up. But, 3517 hertz and almost 117 hertz combined with 800 hertz can change that. But they were putting runes on it so I couldn't get it back. And, I remember one time while they were taunting me, I smelled Prince William. They were giving out their aromas or something in the spirit plane. And he was saying, the way you smelled, it was a very odd, sickly smell. That's the smell of human meat that they eat. He's one of the more voracious eaters. He even said point blank, I even heard from road spirits a while back that I was one of the people that they ate. When the girl could no longer be in my body. And from what I understand, she paid $250 million to get a new body similar to mine. Just like they did with Kanye West. They kill off the person's original body and they put them in a clone, and they get that clone from the demiurge. That's why I be urging motherfuckers, don't be fucking with God. Don't fuck with the demiurge. That's kind of like the problem. I'm not a big fan of him. I was never a big fan when I lived on the PCH of God, the demiurge, and I'm not a big fan of him now. That's the motherfucker that's the cause of a lot of problems. I heard he was set up by the Commission Industrial Complex. I think he usurped it from Aludamare. And Aludamare, from what I understand, I don't know if he got exiled or what, but he only rules one timeline, and it's consistent of 35,000 people, and everybody, white, black, ain't nobody superior to anybody. Everybody get along. Blueprint for God as we know it. He's black, wears the white robes. He's indigenous to Ifa. There was another African spiritualism, and they're very knowledgeable, cognizant about those things. I heard that the people that they don't fuck with are Native Americans. Native Americans know how to combat their ass. Yoganada was another one. What you do is you just woke their ass right out their timelines. They're probably going to have you fuck with my road spirits, because in one timeline, me and my road spirits, as well as, some Hispanic people, I used my powers back then to take over, as he came. Felt them swallowing my consciousness and all of that. I usurped them, and I had some, as a matter of fact, they had some, I think roach attachments of him come into the spirit plane last night and try to, not cavort or schmooze, but there's another word for it, where you try to, cajole somebody, where you try to trick a motherfucker by using, suave, I want to say tactics, where you're trying to bullshit a motherfucker, but I see right through them motherfuckers, and I don't like them at all. There's nothing that they can do to curry favor with me. I don't like them. I believe that they need to be exterminated. 1248 hertz. I also have a frequency under my playlist called Frequencies to Use. It's 1248 combined with 2160 hertz. They try using it against my road spirits. Try using it against them. You can use 000, add as many zeros at the end and beginning as possible. Maybe add 1.7 million. Added to 1.7 million hertz, but you could take their asses out. They've been doing some where they try to twist against my road spirits as well as I. But you can use it against them. With that being said, it's the Queen Mother that they live through. Like insectoids, I even had Prince Andrew, who I tried to take out early this morning. They kept trying to insist on making him a sacrifice. I'm like, nigga, I want all of you motherfuckers after what I saw. You ate my body. You're trying to kill me off from getting back into my timelines. They did something where they put entity attachments, I believe, on my consciousness. They were warning me for months, and like I say, that's their signature move on how they operate. A lot of people don't do that. Other motherfuckers I know, when they come for you, and that's a wrap. And all the people I know, they got the fuck about this timeline when the shit fell through. I had Meghan Markle try to steal my ancestors. You can use 195 hertz to curry the power of your ancestors and all that. I was, my road spirits, they keep trying to distance me from. I was able to get them that some days ago. They're really big on separating you from your people, and all of that. I'm going to say something right now. That's why you never give them consent to rule you. Prince was smart about it. He never engaged with them people. He had his own thing. He didn't fuck with no Illuminati, Rihanna. I'm going to say something right now. From what I understand in the spirit plane, when they, like Lil Wayne got, that's why I was talking about them niggas. I kind of look down on them because of how they view them motherfuckers. Like, they need consent to have power over you. They're not really powerful. They really are not. They can easily, from my experience, be taken out. I've almost took them out on a couple of occasions and have been trying, especially in that timeline, but it keeps getting blocked. With that being said, 694-695 hertz. See, with that being said, the thing with that is they need consent to rule over you. Without it, they can't do shit. You know, as a matter of fact, my past life English ancestors, you know, were telling me you motherfuckers sold us out to the reptilians. Really, it was, I think, giant fucking cockroaches from what I saw. I tried to annul a soul contract between them and the Shatari, which I think are giant roaches. That's why they have wings. Freedom Mudu I talked about, but he said that they were reptilians. So I don't know how true that shit is. I just don't know. With that being said, they tried to ferment. Okay. With that being said, I annulled the contract and I tried to make them the sacrifice last night, but the moment from music. Between the Illuminati as well as them. And when I did it, it freed a lot of, you know, ancient royals who got fucked up by them. You know, basically, they went to the royals and all the nations. Habsburg didn't like their ass. That's why Hitler didn't like their ass. You know, the Balfour Manifesto. Hitler saw, shouldn't fuck with the Jews. But he was meant to. You know, it's like, you can come in Antichrist. I'm not really, let's say 27, 3. Or something, but... I mean, it's going to be Middle Eastern. I'm saying. With that being said, the future Antichrist, when you look at him, he's meant to be. Hitler was meant to be. It's like in a million fucking, I think, 100 million timelines he did it. And in one timeline where he was reticent, cognizant of the shit, and he didn't want to do it when he died, they made him do it from the spirit plane. They're like, nah, nigga, you signed this soul contract, you got to do it. So you got to follow through with your obligations. He had to do it, literally, as part of a cosmic, spiritual soul contract. With that being said, he was against, and I don't remember this from my original timeline, the Balfour Declaration, where, you know, it was talking about the independent state of Israel. All I remember was the protocols of Zion. That's all I fucking remember. And I heard during this curse that he's supposed to be one of my ancestors. He was being, that's why I got him on my wall of ancestors. He was being followed by entity attachment of a Jewish man that was fucking with his ass bad to make him go in that direction. You know, as soon as he did, smooth sailing, like the road spirit said, everything just went his way. He got money. He was no longer homeless like me. He got his shit together. With that being said, you know, in the cosmic, you know, what? With that being said, I saw in that timeline, I'm like, I kept thinking all the people left behind who we don't remember. You see Kodak Black, that's not him acting crazy. This is Kodak Black. And sentence behind him. As a matter of fact, because I saw that guy was overseeing it, and in Eminem's case, he got replaced with an evil motherfucking guy. This guy, the demiurge, was overseeing it. I put him under Hecate, Hathor, and Satan, you know, people that are over the Illuminati, you know, Anubis, Ra, I thought of, Isis, you know, the Egyptian pantheon. Because I thought that it might free them and no longer subject them to the evilness of the demiurge, to the whims of the demiurge. So I put them under them. You know, he did, because of the Zendaya Coleman thing in that timeline. I saw it. I saw it through the entity attack. It's undeniable. It's incontrovertibly undeniable. They keep trying to steal that away from me to do some Beast of the Apocalypse shit. Really, I won't fuck up the Illuminati, and that's it. Because I see what they the evilness that they've done to other fucking innocent people, what they doing to me, like, oh, it's just business as usual. Cut my fucking brother Kristen up in that motherfucking timeline. Nah, bitch, you gotta die. That was Prince Andrew who did it, and it was not just him. It was Queen Elizabeth, all of them I saw. Maybe, I tried to stop this as well, taking motherfuckers from the spirit plane. I heard they laugh at my efforts because of where I'm trapped. But they'll have roaches. They'll take... just like they did with this Dry Atlas and me, you know, with ancestors, I was using 125 hertz to free them at one point, and they got free, and the Illuminati put them right back. There ain't nobody else but them. With that being said, they'll get people, you know, roaches from the roach realm, you know, and who got victims and shit. They'll snatch him up from out of Santa Muerte's hell room, and she stopped it at one point. They trying to take her over to, you know, take a shit and take over the Mexicans, Hispanics. Because she's one of the strong ones, and she's also tied with Satan. I'm going to say that right now. And she's been helping me out, you know, tremendously along with him. If it wasn't for Satan, if it wasn't for Santa Muerte, I wouldn't be here. And he Kate's hell room, and I had a child spirit guide that would come. I don't want to say intravenously, but at certain times and say, we don't want you here, you know, and just woke them right out, you know, try to woke them out their timeline. Little child spirit guide said, they would get people from their hell realms, from those hell realms, roaches, and have them torment innocent victims that they sacrifice. And it's always African. That's why, you know, I heard in the UK, they're quick to give Africans, you know, what they call counselor free homes, because they're big on providing human sacrifices and sacrificing their own people, unfortunately. I heard it from a young African woman, but with us African, you know, Americans, black Americans, they're very, very different towards us. They tend to be extremely overly servile and obsequious and practicing of your mama. So like your mama. Making fun when they were making that. Again, that shit was funny. Where, you know, they're very, very not obsequious, but catering. They're big on making sacrifices out of them people.